Have you ever looked back in your life and wondered how you still got here today? I do all the time. I've looked back and wondered how God has brought me to where I am today, and I realize that it's only through His grace that I am here today. Today we're going to talk about that life and some of the things that God's brought me through to get to where I am today. We'll start on my childhood. My parents got divorced when I was 3 years old. My dad remarried when I was about 5. My stepmom was physically, emotionally, and mentally abusive to me from the time I was 5 till about the time I was 18 years old. After having dealt with all of that for so long, I decided to join the military out of high school. I joined the military because I wanted to get a new life. I wanted to start over. I wanted it to be my own life, and I was able to do that. It gave me some of the opportunities that I had never had as a child or as a young man, as a young teenager. Not very long into my military career, I married a young woman. We were both very young. I think I was 19. She was 17 when we got married. And about a year after we got married, we had our first child. Everything was going good at this point in time. The one thing I will say is I left home and our foundation was not on God. At about 5.5 months old, that really came into play because we lost our daughter. She was 5.5 months old. She was born with complications, but things we thought were looking good. So, young couple, young marriage, losing a young child. Not a good combination. So we were able to move on from that somewhat, and then you add 9/11 into the mix. At this point in time, up until 9/11, I hadn't really deployed for very long, maybe 3 or 4 months at a time here and there. Sometimes they're really neat places, sometimes they're not so cool places. But now I was being called away for 9 to 10 months at a time in some really not so nice places. So that really made an impact on our marriage. And eventually in 2006, our marriage was no longer solvable at that point. So 20 years in the military, I spent in the military. And it was such a great and an impactful thing. Great people in my life, great examples, great stories, great things to tell people. It was just so awesome. But in 2009, I met my new wife, and it has been such an amazing ride. We have a little boy, so we have hers, mine, and ours. We have, she had 2 children from a previous marriage. I had 3 from my previous marriage, and we have a little boy together, my first son. He's my namesake, Elliot. And it's just been amazing to see what God has done in our marriage because He's changed my heart as a man in the process of the military and coming to know Jesus Christ on my own terms. As we've transitioned now, I'm in life after the military. So we were married in 2009, and 5 years later, I'm getting out of the only job I've ever had as an adult. I've been in the military since I was 18 years old. I'm 38 at the time. I have no idea what's going on in my life. I'm scared. I'm worried. Am I going to be good enough for civilian life? Am I going to be good enough for the things that God has in store for us? As I was in my prayer time, God reminded me of something when I was a teenager, that He had called me to ministry at that point in time. And in that discussion between me and God, I just started to question about my past and all these other things, like I'm sure a lot of us do. And I can say at this point in time, I'm actually in the hiring process for the associate pastor position at a local church. I'm in my degree program through Northwest University. God has blessed me immensely. So the call, the new beginning with a new wife after the military has just been amazing. As I said at the beginning of the thing, have you ever wondered how you got here? I do all the time. My childhood, my military career, and life after the military. What a whirlwind it's been. But I'm reminded of a rearview mirror. I'm reminded of the fact that when you're driving in a car, you're only supposed to glance at the rearview mirror, not live in it.